We're rolling?
We rolling.
Alright.
So, start off with, what is law of attraction to you?
Law of attraction to me. I think like on like a more scientific level, it's a universal law that applies to everybody and everything, whether they are aware of it or not, like gravity. Um, that states like vibrations are attracted to each other. They're going to rendezvous with each other. They're going to cross paths. And that includes like all people, places, things, ideas, feelings, and emotions. And that supports the things that we've heard, like when it comes to like what you put out, you get back. Like attracts like. You are what you think. You know, I can go on and on and on. There's so many different ways of looking at it, and I'm excited. I get excited when I think about it because you just realize that all these different teachings are connected. Like I was born in Dublin, Georgia, and like raised in a Baptist church. Sorry, and I realized that this is the stuff that they were also trying to tell me. You know what I'm saying? The whole time, this is what they were trying to get to. I just feel, I'm not going to say they even fell short. I think the way that they taught, like, or, attempted to teach how to apply it kind of, like, missed me. But I found it in other ways, and I see that, like, we're all trying to say the same thing to each other. Gotcha. And it all comes down to love.
So if like attracts like, and it's all about vibration, how do you create that ideal vibration that you want to attract? What's that process like for you? What are some of the things you do to get to that vibration? Some of the things you like to consume? How do you get to that exact vibration that you want to attract if we're attracting what we are?
For me, so I think there are like two different types of practices that I do to do that, and I go about which approach is appropriate for me at that time, by paying attention to how I feel. So if I feel, if I'm able to like focus on being light, if I'm able to focus on vibration of love, if I'm able to focus on the things that I even want, and feel good about it when I do it, like feel great, like feels like, yes, I can feel like I'm there. I can feel like this is already mine. Now it's not even about that thing. It's actually about what I feel in this moment. Like if I'm able to do that, then I do that. I focus on that. That looks like sticking to like a beautiful ritual of like waking up, drinking water, getting into water, whether that be like a shower or a bath or even like having this, here, meditating, writing affirmations, listening to positive content, those things. I do those things if I feel good about doing those things. And then sometimes I'm in places where even thinking about doing some of those things brings me anxiety. And I think that's not the feeling I want, right? Like that's the opposite of what I'm actually going for. And if that's the case, I chill out. Like I find a way to just release resistance, because trying to focus on being something or doing anything and not feeling like I'm there and trying to like force it is creating resistance against the flow of goodness that exists for all of us all the time. So if that's the case, then I just chill the fuck out. I might lay in bed. I might take a nap. I might masturbate. I might go for a long ass walk. I might smoke a blunt. I might be in the bathtub for 2 hours.
Gotcha.
That's how I get
You
there.
never know, yeah. Go anywhere, whatever feels right.
What about you?
What about me?
What's the law of attraction?
The law of attraction. So for me, the law of attraction is, it's just like you said, like attracts like, creating that divine vibration, and pretty much just realizing that the way you feel doesn't depend on anything external. Like with the law of attraction, I just sort of imagine anything that I desire and just feel like I received it right now. So whatever it is I desire at the time, I trust my heart's desire. So the first thing I just really ask myself, what is it that I really want? What will make me happy? What will give me lasting happiness? And once I can identify that, I just feel I received it, and make that feeling as real as I can in my imagination, and just feel that flowing through me. Like as I do whatever I'm doing throughout the day, whether it be something work related or having fun, but just maintaining that feeling and continuing to imagine that feeling, feeling that gratitude, and just feeling that way, so grateful for whatever becomes present, not being picky about what I want to become present. Because sometimes if I'm picky about it, I could say, oh, what's present, this is not what I wanted. And by my ego saying, okay, this was present, it's not what I wanted to happen, that's what it takes me out the feeling.
Yeah.
So I immediately know, like, dang, that's the wrong response. Because anything that takes me out of that feeling, I realize that it's not the external world, but it's the meaning that I gave to it. And just dwelling in that feeling. One of my favorite law of attraction teachers, Neville Goddard, he calls it the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So just whatever it is you wish for, feeling like that wish has been fulfilled and dwelling there. And whenever something takes you out of that feeling, just realizing it was me who gave it the wrong meaning. It wasn't actually that external event or thing that happened. So that's pretty much law of attraction for me. Feeling exactly how you want to feel. And to do that, you imagine whatever it is you desire and feel that you received it. And that's the way you desire to feel. Whatever your desires are, you follow your heart's desires and feel you received it right now. And just by feeling like that, we don't actually need those actual things present to feel it. We don't need to get $1 million to feel we are abundant right now. And just working with the imagination, really, pretty much knowing what we want and knowing that we received it. And some of the second question I think I asked was, how do you get there? So for me, it's just meditation and a mental diet, pretty much. I feel like even beyond like a vegan diet is a mental diet. And watching what I consume, like watching what I'm consuming through the external world, like different TV, different information. Like I could spend my day scrolling YouTube videos, looking at fights or something, and I could be very entertained by these fights. Like, damn, they lit in this fight, bro. And I could scroll through that shit and I could watch that shit all day. But I gotta ask myself, like, is this in alignment with my vision? And realizing that I could also find like entertaining things to watch that are in alignment with my vision, that is bringing me closer to my vision. And instead looking up some different information, like maybe I'm building a yoga studio, so I could look up like different yoga studio type of things, different researching more lessons on spirituality and just enhancing my yoga practice, learning how to guide people a little bit better. I could choose a whole different set of information. So And I could still have fun with it too. It's not like I gotta choose this boring information over here. I could make it fun. Like I could plan a retreat or whatever. Like fill it up with jet skiing, mindfulness. I could really have fun with this too. And it's not just realizing that it's not the hard thing to do. It's actually what I want to do anyway. But sometimes we convince ourselves that this is the hard thing to do, and that watching this Netflix over here is easier. When really, we just doing what we want to do anyway. It's nobody that's like, it's not work for real. It's what we want to do anyway. And just realizing that, damn, this is what I want to do anyway. Like,
Yeah.
that's, you really gotta convince yourself of that sometime. And it's crazy that you gotta convince yourself to even do that. Like, the person you desire to be is who you want to be anyway. Like, it's really the easiest thing to be, but just realizing that and dwelling in that feeling. So, what's one of your main obstacles in following the law of attraction? Because I feel like everybody knows about the law of attraction right now. But even though people know about it, if we don't practice it, it means nothing. I feel like I knew about it long before I actually began to start practicing it, like, and actually start doing it. Like, you know about it, you know it's true, you know it makes sense. But then it's just something about it that's stopping you from practicing it every day throughout your day. So back to the question, what's your like main obstacle for following the law of attraction, catching the vibe?
Like, I think for me, it's a lot of like chatter, like limiting beliefs, like old thoughts that like how you said like this is actually the easiest thing like for us to do, and it's weird that we have to convince ourselves that that's the truth. Like, and I feel like the reason I have to convince myself is because I've been told that this is the way it is, you know?
Yeah.
And that was the vibration I started at, and I practiced that for a very long time. And for some reason, I try to convince myself that that means I have to take just as much time getting where I want to be, when in fact I can decide in this moment now, like this, like the present, each time, whenever I, become aware, I can make the switch. I can just tap into that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And something be telling me that that's not the truth. I don't know. Or maybe I just wake up and choose to believe that on some days. I don't know. But I come back there.
What's some of the main things that get you on that slippery slope and coming up with those doubts? Like, where you think they're born? Like, where are they coming from?
I think it comes from, I'm trying to think of like, I think it comes from not feeling as secure in what I believe, because I've allowed myself to get away from these practices. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you practice, like, as long as you continue to believe, and like, that's the practice that you have every day, it's easy to stay in divine alignment. It's easy to stay in a space of allowing and non-resistance. It's easy to stay in the flow. It's easy,
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like, I'm speaking for me, like, I don't know what that looks like for other people.
Definitely.
But I do try to share, because I know somebody out there like me, But for me and people like me, sometimes that works best when we stick to what we know. Like, I don't know. The stuff like meditation, affirmations, and all that. And then at the root of that is just doing whatever feels good in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually it. Like, even if you don't know, like, if you feel like you don't know what the next step is, just follow what feels good. So, like you said, follow your heart's desire,
Definitely,
Did I
definitely.
answer the question?
Yeah, yeah. The question was, what are some of the main things that come up that just take you out of that feeling of the wish fulfilled? So
Okay.
I guess one more thing is give maybe a concrete example of something that took you out of feeling that you feeling that ideal way and giving off that ideal vibration. What's something that an example of something that took you out of that feeling that you know to avoid next time?
Mm, like a real life
Yeah, a
example?
real life example, something that took you out of that divine vibration, that happiness, that peace, that joy, something that brought up some doubts, maybe some fear, a little confusion or worry. What's a real life example of something that came up?
Mm, maybe allowing myself to maybe
And keep it 100.
I
I
feel
know
so
something.
naked. I'm like, do I want
You
to
cool with that?
take my towel off?
You not? Are you comfortable naked?
That's a good
What does that
question.
mean? If you feel naked, does that mean
That's
you
a
feel
good
comfortable or you feel
question.
uncomfortable?
I feel vulnerable.
You feel vulnerable.
Hmm. You really laughing? Um, nah. The question was a concrete example.
Yeah.
The only way I can I feel like I can approach this question is to share a lesson that I've recently learned.
Yeah. That's
And
general.
I'm okay. I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. When
No pressure.
okay, I'll just say maybe when I could be in a space in my life where I'm experiencing contrast, right? By contrast, I mean just something that is present right now because it's just on the path to where I want to go, and it's making me ask, you know, maybe I'm noticing something that could be better. Maybe I noticed that I don't want to stay in the house that's inland. I want to stay in a beach house next time. Something that triggers the asking. That comes from a space of contrast, and that can sometimes feel like an undesirable space. It can sometimes feel really shitty. It can feel low. It can feel however you allow it to feel, whatever you want to focus on. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, when I feel myself in that space, and then I have I don't know.
You got me feeling like Wendy Williams, like I'm putting the pressure on over here or something, yo.
I don't know. You have to cut
Hey,
all of this.
Charlemagne.
Shut up. No.
Exactly.
Um. Hmm. Just noticing that
Yeah, I cut whatever.
I'm not where I want to be,
Mm-hmm.
and having a place where I feel like, where did I get here, or what did I do wrong? Um. Having those types of thoughts, and allowing that to be there for too long. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Just dwelling
Before,
in on that.
hmm?
Like
Yeah,
when they
before
come
I
up.
recognize, and then even knowing that I know what I know, it's like, Jasmine, you know what you know.
Mm-hmm.
When are you gonna decide that today is gonna be different? You know what I'm saying? Um, it's the thoughts and stepping out of my practice, which allow me to focus on other things.
Okay, I like it, I like it, I like it. Well, my next question.
What?
If,
Wait, what's that for you?
what's
What's
that for
something
me?
that has kind of ever got you in a space where you felt like you had to come back to your center?
When I come back to my center,
Do you have any examples of anything that would
yeah, for
knock
sure.
you out?
because it's a practice for me, and I get better and better at it as I go. But one of my main things that sort of could take me out sometimes is probably dealing with my child's mother, because we have like different set of spiritual beliefs, different beliefs here and there, and just those contrasting opinions or whatever, or contrasting beliefs, and just letting fully accepting people as they are, and not really wanting to say I know these things that you don't know, and you should be more like follow more so this peaceful stuff I'm pitching. But she got her own little ideals too, and just realizing that she's right too for wherever she is, and that just really loving people as they are, and not wanting people to be this way or that way, and fully having that peace with who she is right now. But sometimes, who like, not even just her, but sometimes who other people are, it could sort of take me out of that feeling if I let it. And I'm getting better and better at realizing this, and just sort of calibrating everything back to everything is in harmony, everything is in alignment type of mindset. The more I practice life, I'm able to quickly realize this and find peace even in disagreement, even if I completely disagree with what you're talking about. Like just having peace and respecting the truth of somebody else. So just get into a state, and I'm completely over it with like other type of people if it's somebody who I don't have a child with. But the fact that you got a child together sometimes, because what anybody else believes, I'm completely cool with that. Like your truth, I'm completely happy with that. I'm gonna live my truth, you live your truth, all is good. But sometimes when you have a kid in common, I feel like that sort of gets the closest to getting me off my balance. It's like, makes it a little more interesting for sure. It makes it more of a fun practice, but I'm pretty much over anybody else's truth. I'm happy with completely everybody else's truth, and just this is what I'm practicing right now, and I'm beginning to master is accepting the truth of somebody who you have to share a common space with.
Yeah.
Because normally you just people that aren't with people who you don't typically agree with, they normally attracted away. People who are more in alignment normally attracted towards you. But sometimes you have certain bonds, whether it's family or relationship or a child, that keeps you in the presence of certain energies, and just realizing that all things that are present are still contributing to like reaching that higher space, that higher self.
Yeah. I have a question if you are complete with that.
Yeah, sure.
So I know we kind of both gave our things for like what we do to kind of stay in that space. But what's like your instant go-to when you notice that you're going there? Your instant go-to to like bring you back to truth, to bring you back to who you really are, you know, to bring you back to light and love and always where you want to be and how you want to feel. Like if you can think of the first thing that you do.
Alright, it's out there. So, mine's
The
is
flame.
just, yeah. So, I think alright, I think we're good now. So, what was the question again?
When you first noticed that
first,
that
got
you
you, I
being
got
kind
it.
of not almost knocked off your block, you know? What's the first thing you do when you notice it to get out of it?
For me, it's just realizing my mental conversation that I'm having at that moment. And if I, so the first thing I do immediately is more of a mental conversation. I quiet everything down that I'm thinking about. And I say, like, I love who I am. I love who others are. And just by loving who I am, loving who others are, loving all that's present, just switching that conversation to more of that pace. Because if I'm getting off my square or whatever, I could simply notice my mental conversations. Because just like I'm breathing, all day I'm having a mental conversation. And if I'm feeling off, it's normally because I'm having a doubt-based conversation or a fear-based conversation or some kind of mental conversation that's saying that the present moment isn't in alignment. So just by mentally telling myself right there, I love who I am, I love who others are, I love all that's present, I'm able to stimulate a whole different mental conversation and start coming out of that limiting space of disharmony and come to a place of peace, harmony, unconditional love for everything that becomes present. So noticing the mental conversation and taking control of it is pretty much my thing.
Yeah, that felt good. And I love those affirmations.
Yeah, real sweet, real simple. And creating your own affirmations too for whatever, like for anybody watching, like when you create your affirmations, just telling yourself what you need to hear. Because we all know exactly what it is we're supposed to do. It's just that one thing that's stopping us from doing it. And giving yourself affirmations for making it through whatever. Because you know what your biggest challenges are. Like, you know what your obstacles are. And just helping ourselves through this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, what was the next question I was about to ask? I was going to ask, so, if we are now the person we desire to be, like that's how we working with the law of attraction. Who is Jasmine Aurielle?
I knew where you were going. Oh.
Like, who is that desired person? What is it you do? What is it? What is it you sharing with everybody? What do you love? What's that ideal state? Tell me about it.
Jasmine Aurielle is a missionary in the sense of spreading the good news. And the good news that she's sharing is that this life is meant to feel really good. It's meant to be really fun. It's meant to be pleasurable. It's meant to be intimate. It's meant to be deep. It's meant to be funny. It's meant to be everything that you consider good. And she does that. I do that through leading by example. And that might look like teaching yoga or meditation or taking retreats or taking baths or doing Reiki or dancing or loving or cooking. And I feel happy, I feel fulfilled, I feel successful, I feel loved, I feel full of appreciation for this life and the opportunity to wake up and do those things and feel those things each and every day.
And what are your offerings? What are your present offerings that people could, even if you about to put it on your thing tomorrow, on your bio tomorrow, like the person you desire to be, I want to know, fully go there and tell me what your present offerings are. What can I get from Jasmine Aurielle?
My present offerings are spiritual wellness guidance via coaching or yoga or retreats. My offerings are also guided meditation in the ways that we feel comfortable sharing it, with a lot of change going on right now. So I do that through like one-on-one coaching and however we both feel comfortable in showing up. And I also provide teaching, like a spiritual wellness community, or like online classroom, or like, I don't know, it has different vibes, but I teach, and all of those offerings are on my website.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
But really,
cool.
I just be showing up how I want to show up each day.
Yeah.
It's hard to answer that question every time, because it feels like this is where I am. When I'm asked that question, I feel like I need to like show up with like titles and like say my degree and certifications and stuff.
I ain't asking for that.
I know. That's me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I just be doing whatever the fuck I want to do. I'm good. I found out that I'm good at certain things, and I try to share those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I can wake up and be a whole different person tomorrow, and it's still gonna be whatever feels good. It's still gonna be on my path. It's still gonna be what I need in that moment, And I'm telling myself that right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about that.
What about you? What are your offerings?
My offerings, spiritual guidance, just whether private sessions, group sessions, maybe even in the form of a yoga class, but just helping people realize their divine self, helping people let go of any fear, doubt, worry, indecision. So different exercises to sort of just work with that, offering that in private sessions. Noticing what our actual fears and doubts are, because sometimes we don't even notice our fears and doubts, and they're like hiding. It's like sort of playing hide and seek. It's like you were saying earlier, we have like patterns that we learn early on in life. We learn that, okay, when this is happening, you automatically create doubt and feel this way. When that's happening, you feel some other type way. So just ways to unlearn those patterns and create patterns more so in alignment with your vision. So just private sessions on that, and pretty much wherever I am, just leading people into their higher self, and just helping people work through that through yoga, retreats, maybe just chilling at the store on the corner, wherever we are, just helping whoever comes in front of me with that, and learning from the people in front of me as well at the same time.
Mm. Yeah, that's beautiful. That last part. All of it was beautiful, but it is beautiful to even recognize that like we all got something to learn from each other.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess that wraps it up.
Yeah, that was nice. That felt good.
Do you have any more questions? Anything you want to add?
Hmm. I think I'm complete. Like, I think,
I am. So, see y'all later. They're gonna make some sweet potato hash. It's gonna be good. Some fruit. Light in me, honors the light in you. Namaste.
that was good. Those were